Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Slcmof, and I'm back again with another video, and in this one I want to talk about Batman Return to Arkham. And as you may have noticed, I've not uploaded a regular video such as this one in the past few days. I do apologize about that. Many of you know, if you follow me on Twitter, that I've been sick the last few days, and actually it was kind of funny. 2 days ago I tried to record this very commentary, and my throat was really sore, like it was tough to talk, and then I found I was basically puking in between takes. But, you know, initially I was like, yeah, I gotta stay on the grind, you know, I don't want to let my subs down, and basically like 10 minutes later I was like, okay, screw this, I'm letting my subs down, okay, I'm going to bed. But really I felt like utter crap, and I still am not the best. You may be able to hear my voice, but anyway, I'm good enough now to talk about Batman Return to Arkham and whether or not I feel as though you have, or should buy it, and I guess I've had the last 3 days to think about it very carefully. No, but really, you know, I don't want to influence anybody or you know, change your opinion or anything like this. This is just an interesting commentary idea that I thought, and my suggestion, if you are on the fence, because a lot of my subscribers have noted to me that they're uncertain if they want to buy this game. They say they're interested in it, and they initially considered it, but then they saw some of the side-by-side graphics comparisons, and they're not as pleased as they wanted to be. And a lot of the comments in the original video are along the lines of, or the original trailer are along the lines of, wow, this really isn't as much of a graphical increase or improvement as I would have liked. So I want to talk about it from a categorical standpoint. In other words, what situation are you in? So let's talk about my situation, which is, a rarity, I would say. And that is, if you're a YouTuber for the game, you're going to get the game, of course. And as a YouTuber that's going to be doing a full walkthrough of Asylum and City, because I've never done it before on my channel, I was never an Arkham YouTuber before Arkham Knight. So I really want to do that, and as long as you guys, are interested in watching the videos, and, as long as, more than 10 people, are interested in seeing those, I will be doing a full walkthrough of both Asylum and City. But this is kind of the same situation that I talked about for the Arkham Knight DLC. I mentioned how my opinion was skewed, or could be skewed, because of the fact that I am a YouTuber for the game. I make videos on the Arkham Knight DLC, so based upon the ads that I run on videos, such as videos talking about how terrible the Nightwing DLC is, and my videos covering the new challenge maps and the new skins, I actually made $40 off of those videos and ads. So because of that, I basically, if you think about it in that sense, I got the Arkham Knight Season Pass for free. Now, granted, I did have to do work to get all those, but the point is, I made a net profit off of the Season Pass in a strange way. However, for the average person, you're just going to pay for the 40 bucks to get the Season Pass. It's kind of the same situation here. I'm buying the game either way. I'm excited for the game as a fan, and even as a fan, I would get it either way, but I want to kind of look at it from some of your all's perspectives. So, let's talk about if you've never played the Arkham games before. If you've never played Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, you definitely should buy this remaster. Now, if you've already played these games before, you've already played their DLC, and, this is the most important, and you own the games currently on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, I do not feel as though, personally, if I were in your scenario, I would not be inclined to buy the game because of the fact, as we mentioned, the graphical improvement is not mind-blowing, and in some scenes it is mind-blowing, like the side-by-side of the Asylum, although I do have some issues with, I feel as though the darkness and the bleakness of the Asylum is kind of taken away. It is much better graphically, it's undisputed, but some of the character models are really iffy, like really, really not good. So because of that, and by the way, not good, what I mean is they're actually a regression, they're actually worse than they were on PS3, and I think that that's kind of insane to think about that a remaster, at any shot, it should never be that way. It should always be clear which is the remaster and which is the regular and a side-by-side, but I would imagine that many of you would, get it wrong if I were to pose you a question of which is from PS3 and which is from PS4, the Hugo Strange one. I imagine most casual people that, aren't familiar with the remaster would say, I think the one on the left is PS4, and no, it's not. It's PS3, and the next gen Hugo just does not look as good. But if you're like me and you had to sell your PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 in order to acquire a next generation console, and you cannot readily access Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City, two, in my opinion, the greatest superhero games ever made, then I feel like you owe it to yourself, I certainly do, to have this game and be able to play it on a regular basis. Now let's talk about another quirky circumstance that I fall in, and that is if you've never played the DLC. The fact of it is, $30 for the full game and all of its downloadable content is a great deal, even more so for Arkham City, because it had challenge maps and it also had full side mission gameplay walkthrough type thing with Harley Quinn's revenge. So if you've never played any of those, if you were a cheapskate back in the good old days like me, and you never played any of the DLC besides, like the exclusive DLC like the Joker's DLC or anything like that in Asylum, then I think as well it's a very good deal the way in which the DLC is bundled. And in fact, if you were on PS3, I'm not sure, but I think the season pass for Arkham City is like $30. It might be 20. I'm not sure. No, that's not right. It wasn't 20. I think it was 20 for Origins. Anyway, it's you know, a good amount of money, and in combination with the game and the DLC, if you were to buy that on PS3 right now, I imagine it would be comparable in price to buying it on next generation. So at that point, I would say it's definitely worth it to just go ahead and get Asylum and City on the same disc in the same box for PS4 or Xbox One. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this quick little commentary in the comment section below. Do you plan on picking up Batman Return to Arkham? Do the lack of graphical improvement turn you off, or do you think that there's plenty graphical improvement? What we do have to keep in mind is that there is something to be said of the fact that we don't know if, for example, the cutscenes on PS3 and Xbox 360 for Arkham games, they were rendered. They were basically like movie cutscenes implemented in the game, and the same engine of course, but the graphics were much better. If we were to actually go in-game and compare the Asylum and just kind of look forward at the Asylum as compared to Batman Return to Arkham, it would look much better, even more so than it already does on Return to Arkham. But even then, in the fact that Batman Return to Arkham does not explicitly state on the bottom of the video, you know, as it's opening, that it is recorded on in-engine footage, we have every reason to believe that it is not, because if it is, like the Battlefield 1 trailer, they're going to show that off. They're going to want to brag about how the fact that what you're seeing is actually recorded on PS4, recorded on Xbox One, it's in-engine footage. So since they didn't point that out, it is fair to presume, in fact it's basically a universal truth, that it is PC generated. So the graphics of Batman Return to Arkham may actually be less good than what we saw in that Return to Arkham trailer, and that is really worrisome for many people. Again, from my perspective, I just want to play these games on next gen, and do I wish that maybe some of the graphics were cleaned up a little bit? Absolutely. And there is a possibility that they can still do that. Now, what we do have to keep in mind is that this game is going to go gold in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So once you go gold, there's no really going back. There's not really such thing as patching graphics. You can't really have a DLC update to actually fix graphics, so they have a very short amount of time to fix some of these issues. I hope that they've seen some videos from some people in the Arkham community that have pointed out that, hey, there are some, you know, shots and some images that may need some attention. Other than that, a lot of shots look really great, so, you know, it really is graphics. That's one of the things that I wanted to point out in this video, is that graphics is not all you want to be concerned about. There are many other reasons that you may want to pick up this game. If you don't have instant access to Batman Arkham Asylum or Batman Arkham City on PS3 or Xbox 360, I believe you absolutely deserve it to yourself to have ready access to play both of these legendary and iconic games. But that's just my 2 cents. I know many of you will disagree, and again, I'm not in any way telling you you should buy it or you should not. This is just my honest advice and what I would do if I were in your situation, and I can tell you in mine, I'm definitely picking this game up. I already have my pre-order down. Granted, I still have $45 more to pay because I'm a cheapskate, but it is very nice of them to only make it $50. I had just presumed it would be $60, but I think that $50 for both of the games, $25 each, with all the DLC is a great deal. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. My name is Slcmof, and we'll see you in the next one.